going on, party people? This is Pete with Backdraft Videos, coming at you talking about the Scrambler from Triumph. This is a bike I built a couple years ago. It happens to be one of my most liked bikes that I've ever owned. It is the 865 Scrambler, not the liquid-cooled new ones that they've come out with, but this is a good old air-cooled, oil-cooled motor. Now, all the modern classics that's Triumph re-engineered and re-released share the same common theme, but this Scrambler in particular has a unique engine feature to it. So it is 865 cc's, but the crank is different than the Bonnevilles. It uses a 270-degree crank that gives it an offset. I believe the America Speedmaster models use the same style. And the motor has been detuned a little bit to increase low-end grunt, so it does have some good snap right down at the bottom. And it's just a really cool bike. If you saw one of the Jurassic Park movies and there was that dude that had the motorcycle, this is the bike that he rode. Not this exact bike, but that would be kind of cool if it was the exact bike. But anywho, this is a bike I built over the course of the winter time. Again, took a stock Scrambler, redid the suspension, put some Renthal bars on it, did a whole bunch of Steve McQueening to it, if you will. Went down to the Army Navy surplus store and just bought stuff and fit it to the bike, including ammo can, storage container, and a few other things. Messed with the gauges a little bit, but pretty much the bike is the stock motor configuration. Didn't mess with the fuel too much, but yeah, nice bikes, really fun to ride, very nimble and flickable, as some call them. The bike is somewhat lighter weight, so it lends itself to the dirt, but again, this is not a dirt bike. This is a road bike with some off-road capabilities. It handles really good, soaks up the bumps really well, and it's actually a real pleasure to drive. Now, I took the stock exhaust because they look kind of dumb, and they also weigh about 50 pounds, and I changed it out to a British Customs shotgun style exhaust. I have another video you can find on my channel with some good audio comparison, but the shotgun style exhaust, awesome. They really work good, and they sound amazing. They set car alarms off. I mean, it's just fantastic. The bike starts with 54 horsepower, so you're not getting onto a rocket ship, but understand the bike is somewhat lighter than the full dressed out editions. So 54 horsepower, I think it has 51 foot-pounds of torque, available right around 5K. They do work pretty good. So yes, yeah, one thing I really like about the bike is with a few little changes to it, it's really a blast. It's got some good power, and it really handles the dirt road slash fire road stuff really well. I changed the tires. They come with, most people call them death wings, but the tires that comes with stock are horrible. I suggest a Heidenau K60 Scout tire. The K60s are unbelievable at wearing and handling. They're very good. They handle the twisties real well, and they give you a lot better traction in the soft stuff than the factory stuff does. Pros and cons about the bike. Let's talk about the pros and cons. Pros: the bike looks awesome, sounds awesome, handles great. It's lightweight and small, so it's easy to get around. It's really fun. The cons: it does have pretty good power, but it's definitely not a crotch rocket. It's a smaller bike, so two-up passenger riding is a little tricky. The bike also vibrates a little bit, but I mean, it's nothing that isn't manageable, especially for the style bike. I just wish factory it came with a little bit more power, but again, with Tune ECU downloaded and buying a twin tune, maybe changing the bell mouth, some aftermarket cans on it, I mean, you're talking about a pretty solid contender for the power category. The range on the bike is pretty good as well. You kind of have to watch your mileage though. again, the bike handles really good. It's fun to ride, upright, and you know, you do some modifications like this bike, spent a lot of time with some of the detail work, and it's really, really fun. Let's go off-roading. Let's hit some dirt. Yeah, baby, yeah. So, again, this bike loves this moderate off-road action. And I changed the rear suspension to TEC rear shocks. Really happy with the performance of these. One broke, but they stood behind it and sent me a replacement free of charge. Don't know why it would have broke. I'm just bombing down these roads, right? And I really like the aftermarket bars because having a good firm grip on the handlebars is super important when you're into the stuff like this. And there's a possibility with the chrome bars that you don't have a good firm grip on it. I also fitted this with some heated hand grips just because up here in northern New England we do get a lot of snow and the riding season's kind of short. So adding small creature comforts like heated grips, although some may pick on me for being a wimp, it does definitely extend the riding season really, really well when temperatures get around 20 degrees. And again, it doesn't mind any of this off-road action. It actually kind of enjoys it. You can stand right up on it, no problem, for stabilization because the pegs are right underneath your feet. So that's pretty slick. And again, with the aftermarket exhaust, this bike just has such a nice growl to it. It's just a pleasure to ride. You can find these bikes nowadays pretty reasonable, bone stock with nothing done to them, and people have moved on more to the liquid cooled newer models. I demoed a street scrambler recently, and if I had both of these bikes side by each, I would definitely choose the 865 air cooled, not only for the Naglosta factor, but just really, really fun to ride and just really a hoot. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this brief video. Again, this is a custom-made bike, but it should give you enough insight now that if you're looking for one of these, you can pick one up reasonable. They don't have a lot of problems. They're really, really good right out of the gate, but if a little modification, man, these things become a showpiece. Take it easy. Keep at least one wheel on the ground. Like, comment, and subscribe, and be safe out there.